Next up, we're going to talk about unique and count and if. Those are three more very useful formulae that you can use with sheets. So you can see here, because I'm a super nerd, I have a list of characters from various Star Trek shows. We're going to start with the unique function. So if you notice here, I just want to figure out how many different things we have here. I know that I have 12 rows worth, but I need to know just how many are unique. Okay, so I'm going to put that over in here, and I'm just going to put in my equal symbol and then start typing in unique. It will give me that. Then I'm going to choose the source, which is this column right here. Okay, so I'm just going to close that bracket. When I press enter, it will only show me each one of these once. So it's going to look like that. So now I have the 5 different unique TV shows that are in this list of 12 different things. So there's unique for you. Let's move on to on to count. I'm going to go to another sheet here. So the count function only has to do with numbers. There is a count if function, and we can talk about that another time if needed. But for now, if you just had a list that's very disorganized, and you just want to know how many of these are actually numbers, then I'm just going to go to another cell here. I start with my equals, and I'm going to type in count, and it gives me the option there, and I want to count all of these guys, and it should end up with the number 7. Okay, so now what it's doing is it's counting through all of these. It says that's not a number, that's not a number, that's not a number. These two guys aren't numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's how we get to count the things within a list. You can do this horizontally as well. It doesn't really matter as long as you use the count function like we did up here. Okay, and finally, I'll go back to my other sheet here, and we're going to do if. So I'm going to put in this one's a little bit more complicated, but bear with me. It's once you have the basics of it, you can start to use this in various ways in your classroom. So I'm starting with the equal symbol as always, and I'm going to say if. Okay, so here's how you have to wrap your mind around it. Basically, I'm going to point at another cell, and I'm going to say if this cell equals something or other. So I'm going to say if this cell equals male, and I'm going to put it in full quotes. I'm going to put a comma. So now it's going to be like, so if it actually equals male, do this. If it does not equal male, do something different. Okay, so right now I'm going to say, if it does equal male, I want you to take this value right here. Okay, so if it does actually equal male, then take that value and spit it out. However, if it does not, so here's the one that what it's going to do if it does, and here's what it will do if it does not. So I will say something like, okay, I guess female. So you'll notice the first time it chose the correct cell because this one is actually male. If it were something else, if it was not male, it would spit out something else. So I'm going to do what we did with the other formulas, and I'm going to drag it all the way down, and you'll notice the male names come over, but anytime it's a female, their name doesn't pop over there. Apologies, that's pretty sexist. But the whole point is, it is looking at each one of these cells and saying, okay, is it male? If it's male, then spit out this one. If it's not male, then just spit out this word. Okay, so remember, that's sort of your thought process here. If this particular cell equals something I want it to, then do this. If it doesn't, then do this.